My greetings, viewers. This is the introduction screen of Schoolzilla. This is the login screen for all, from the management to the students, including the teachers, principals, and everyone that is associated with the institution. When you sign in, you get to see the dashboard. The dashboard has all the basic details of your institution, like the number of male and female teachers, the teachers that are on contract basis or on permanent basis, then the number of students that are male and female. Everything you get it here. Here on the left corner, you will get everything that your institution is in need of. I'll tell you one by one in detail. Courses. In courses, you have topics like courses, specialities, batch year, semester, section, subject, optional subject, and course department. First is the courses. Here, we've already given you the number of courses that you might require, but if you don't have the courses in this list, you could add it here along with the duration, the year, and the code of the subject. Then you have specialty. In that particular course, whatever is the specialty, you could add it from here or choose from the given list. Batch year. In batch year, you can add the batch year for the students. For every course and every specialty, you could add the batch year here. And then comes the semester. Semesters also you can add it here. If you have tri-semester system, you could add it here. And if you have 2 semesters or 4 semesters, you could do the same here. Sections. If one course has 2 or more sections, you could add it from here. And the specialities and everything for each section, you could choose from here and assign it to them. Then comes the subject. The courses and the specialities in those courses have subjects. So you could add it from here, or as I told you earlier, you could choose it from the list of courses that are given here. Then comes the optional subject. If your institution or this particular course has any optional subject, you could choose it from here or add it however you like. Then the course department. This has all the details of the departments that are there in your college, like primary, secondary, pre-primary, junior college, senior college, etc. Utility. In utility, we have also given you the master to add all the departments that are there in your institution, like admission, accountant, librarian, computer, etc. You could choose it from the list of departments here, or you could add it here, and their roles and responsibilities also you could add it here. Then is the documents. All the documents that you wish to collect from your employees or the staff members, you could add it here and they would get collected as you add the staff and employees, and you could store their data in this portal. Quota. If your institution has quota system like female quota or sports quota, anything, you could add it here, and the percentage of reduction in fees, you could add it here. Bus stop. If your institution has bus services, you could add all the details of the bus stop, like the bus stop, the bus number, driver's detail, conductor's detail, the landmark, and the fees for each bus stop. You could add it here, and accordingly, when the student chooses their bus stop, the fees would be generated. Academic year. All the academic year and details related to the academic year, you can add it from here. Designation. The designation of all the staffs and employees in your university or institution, is necessary and can be added and stored here. And all the historical data also can be stored here. Settings. This is an important setting for the accounts department. The admin can assign the time of fees collection here, the start time and the end time. So after the time is ended, like here it is 8 o'clock. So after 8 o'clock, the accountant cannot make any changes in the fees department or the fees collected and cannot collect any more fees after this given time. And after the day is over at 8 o'clock, they would send a checkout message. You could find it here in the settings, and you could, here you see this, here you send the checkout message, and that goes to all the mobile numbers that are listed here. You could add more, and these could be the mobile numbers of all the heads and the management department. Admission form. Admission form is very easy to create with Schoolzilla compared to all the other apps and platforms where you create it, and it is very tedious for you to create. And in Schoolzilla, we've already given you the number of options which are there on the admission form. If not there, you could add it here. It's like you're making your own software. So here you could choose from the range of options available to you. You could just check it here, and the admission form would get created. You could also name your form here. And this way the admission form is created easily. The student, you have options like admission of the student, cancelling admission, migration, import, and cast update. Admission of the student. The admission form that you created earlier would show here, and this is for manually admitting the student into the institution. And also, you could admit the student online, that is via your website. If you add this link in your website, the student could open it and would send them to a screen like this, and where they could update the mobile number and they would get the OTP. And with the help of OTP, they could log in to the admission form. And when they fill the admission form, all the details of the admission form would show here under the unconfirmed list of students. From here, the admin could confirm the students and they would get all the login credentials when the admission is confirmed. And that list would be shown here. When you admit the student, when you confirm the admission of the students, you could confirm it with or without the fee payment. That is up to you. Then if you want to cancel the admission of a student, or any student by chance cancels the admission, you could make changes from this space. After that, migration of the student. Here you could migrate the students from one class to the other, like from first year to second year or fifth standard to sixth standard. You could do it from here. And any student that has ATKT also can be updated accordingly. Then import. If there are any students, new students, or any type of students that you need to import, you could import it from here, and you could add the details here accordingly. Caste update. If you want to update a caste of a student, for example, Maratha caste, you could select all the students that comes under this caste and you could update it accordingly, rather than the old traditional tedious methods of updating the students with manually. has many options like installments, fee type, fee name, category concession, quota concession, handicapped, minority, set fee, update fee, fee class list, edit student fees, section fees paid, student fees paid, bulk fee paid, section bus fee, and student bus fee. Installments. If your institution collects fees in installments, you could add the type of installments and the number of installments here. Then comes the fee type. Fee type, you could add all the type of fees that your institution has, like school fees, college fees, etc. Then the fee name. Under the types of fees, like if your college fee or school fees has types of fees, subtypes in them, like admission fee, tuition fee, bus fees, etc., you could add it and update it here. Then category concession. If your institution gives concession to particular categories, you could update it here and accordingly it would be shown in their fees at the time of admission, after the admission. Quota concession. If your college has quota concession that you had updated earlier, the same thing you have to add it here and it would get updated accordingly. Handicapped and migration concession, minority concession. All the students that come under the minority category or are handicapped would get concession here and their concession would be updated in their fees. And set fees. If you want to set fees section wise or class wise, you could set it here. And if you want to set fees the same fee for all the students, you could also update it here by clicking on select all. Then update fees. If you want to update a fee of a particular student, you could update it from here. You could, if you want to update here, like if you want to apply the concession, you can. If you don't want to apply, you could do it accordingly. So everything is dynamic here and you could do everything according to your liking. There is nothing that you cannot do on this software. Then if you want to know the class wise fee list, you could select the class and you would get the class wise fee list here. And if you want your section wise fee list or section wise fee list of students that have been the fees that have been paid, you can check it from here. And here you could get the list of all the students that have paid fees and all the details of all the students that have paid fees under this head. Then is the, if you want to edit any particular student's list of or fees, you could see their fees here. You would get the list of names. You could select the name and their fees. If you want to deduct a fees or update anything here, you could do it from here. And this makes it easier to collect the fees and update it than the tedious procedures that we used to follow earlier. Then section wise fees paid. If you want to see the fees of students that are paid in every section, you could check it from here. Then comes the bulk fees. If you want to know the bulk fees paid by a particular student, you just have to type their name here and all the names would show here. And you could just open it and you could see all the time, all the fees paid by them, the total number of times or total number of fees paid by them here. Then if you want to know the section-wise bus fees paid by the students, you could see it from here. Only there's one student in this section, so you could see his fees here. And if you want to pay the fees, you could pay it here. Or if you want to update anything regarding bus fees of this student, you could do it here. Then the bus fees paid by a particular student, you just have to search their name here and their list would come here and you could see or update their fees here. That's all for the fees. Fee report. If you want to get the report of any type of fees that were paid or the head, you could get it from here. It has options like fee report, fee receipt, fee head report, report setting, fee summary, fee submit, student transaction, ITR report, and fee certificate. First is the fee report. If you want to get the details of fees paid by this section, you just have to click there and then select the academic year and the type of fee status and the other details. Like if I want the mobile number of the student to be displayed on the report, I could just select it and click on view report. And you would get the list of all the students in that section and their report of fees paid. Then is the fee receipt. If you want to generate receipt of all the students in this section and their fee type, you have to submit it and the names would be shown here. If you want all the names, you could click it and view fee receipt. If you want all the type of fees, you could just click it here and the receipt would be generated automatically with one click here. And you would get two copies. One would be the office copy and one would be the student copy. See. Then comes the fee head report. If you want the fee head report for this class, you just have to view it. You would get all the heads and the amount that is there assigned for that particular class. Then comes the report setting. If you want your fee report or fee receipt to be aligned vertically or horizontally or any other format, you could just select it from the setting here. Then comes the fee summary. If you want the fee summary of all the students in your institution, you could select it and view and click on view fee summary. Here, see, you would get the summary of all the students in your institution. Then comes the fee submit option. Here you just have to click all the names and start date. For example, I have selected 16th and the end date I've selected it as today. When I click on view fee submit, I could see all the number of students that have submitted fees during this duration. Then comes the student transaction. Under student transaction, you could get transaction, all the transaction of each and every student in in your institution. If I've selected one name, I could get the submitted date and the amount by that student on every date and whatever date they have submitted their fees and whenever they submitted their fees. You could get the details from here. After that comes the ITR report. If your student or if your child is studying in this college or institution and you want to file an ITR, so you could get the ITR application or report from this portal as well. This is how it would look, and if you submit it, you would get the income tax deduction here. Then is the fee certificate. This is a special thing in our application. Here, the students who have paid complete fees would get a certificate called the fee certificate. This would look something like this. And it would be assigned to only those students who have paid full fees. And if there's no student who's paid full fees, they would not get the fee certificate. There are no students who have paid the fees completely, they would not get the fee certificate, as I told you earlier. That's all for fee report. Scholarship and scholarship report. Scholarship has options like scholarship scheme, section wise, and search student. Under scholarship scheme, you can add the scheme under which the student would be eligible for the scholarships, and in section wise you can find the students that are eligible for scholarship in a particular section. And search student is here, you could search a student and their academic year, and when the name comes you could update their fees in which they would be availing the scholarship. Then comes the scholarship report. Scholarship report is where you get the whole report of all the scholarship that the students in your institution are availing. This would look something like this. The name of the students would appear here, and accordingly you would get a whole report of students that are availing the scholarship at your institution. Then comes scholarship summary. You would get a summary of all the students that have availed the scholarship. Here there are no students that have availed the scholarship, so the report cannot be generated. But in case there are students, the report would be generated accordingly. Classroom, calendar, multimedia, and notice board. In classroom, the teacher can schedule the lectures by adding the title, start time, and end time along with the password. And whenever they've scheduled, it would be shown on this calendar, and whenever the student clicks here, they would be directed to the class. Calendar. In calendar, the institution can update all the events and holidays that are there in that academic year, and accordingly the students would get a notification prior the event or holiday. Multimedia. In multimedia, if the students want to get access to any multimedia of a particular subject, the teacher can upload the multimedia here. It could be in the form of file or in the form of Google Drive link, and they would get the same. And if they want to assign a multimedia, they could also do it. They could add the first and last name and the mobile number, and they could assign a multimedia to few selected students as well. Then comes the notice board. In notice board, the institution can put up a notice and could send it to all the staff and students in the institution, or they could draft a notice only to a selected teachers or students in the institution, and the people would get the notification of the notice on their mobile via their app. That's all for classroom, calendar, multimedia, and notice board. Examination. Here, in examination, the college or in the school or the institution can create an examination by going here and clicking on create examination. They could add all the details here and then the instructions. And in this examination, they could add three types of question papers, that is multiple choice, true and false, and subjective type. To upload the question paper, they could either type it here or they could download the question paper template provided by Schoolzilla and add the necessary questions and answers there and upload it here. And to view the question paper, one could view it like this. This is how the question paper would look. This is only the admin view. For the student view, it would be different. Then after you've created the examination, it's time for you to assign the examination. When you assign, you could select the subject and then you have to assign to the students. If you want to assign it to everyone, it would get assigned to everyone. And if there are students who had 80 KT in their previous semester and you want to assign examination to them as well, you could add it from here. You could assign examination and upload an Excel sheet of those students, and this link would be sent to them as well. Then after you've assigned and after they've taken the examination, you have to check the exam. If it's multiple or true and false based questions, it would get checked automatically. But if it's subjective, it's up on you, and this is where you go and select the subject and check the examination. And after that, the results would be declared. Check the examination. From examination result, they could select the subject and check their results. Library and library reports. Under library, you can add the book and the book category, assign teachers and students their library card, keep a record of the books borrowed by students, teachers, and a particular class, and also the record of books returned by a class, a student, and teacher. Here you add the book catalog. Here you can add the categories of book that are available in your library. After that, after you have selected the categories, you can update the books that are there in your library. You can add each and every detail here along with the level of readers of that book. Then comes the student library card. You can auto generate it or you can select the class and the student and manually generate the library card. Same goes for the teachers. Then comes the class book borrow. If your institution has a lecture or period for library, you can select the class and assign them the books or reserve books for these students, whosoever has selected whatever books. Or you can directly select the student and assign them the book. Similarly, it is for the teachers. Then the book return. While returning the book, you could do it manually here, either by searching the name of the student or by going to class book return and selecting the class and the student and returning the book. Then comes the library report. Here you can get reports of everything, the book list of books that are there in your library, the list of books by category, student and teacher library card, reserved books and returned books, owned books and library fine, and also the accession register. When you click on the books list, you can open it and you would get the list of all the books that are there along with some basic details in your library at just one click. Then is the library card. Same as for the teachers. I'll show you the students one. This is how the card will appear. Their issue date, valid date, the number of books they've issued, first name, middle name, and last name. Same as for the teachers. Then comes book list by category. The categories that we had updated in the catalog earlier would be, and the books under them would show here. Then comes the student owned books. Here you can get all the books that are owned by whichever student who had reserved it earlier. You could get a history of all the books that the student had issued and returned. And also, if you select a particular book, you could get a history of all the people who had issued it from whatever date to whatever date. Then is the reserved books. You could get list of all the reserved books too in your institution. After that is the library fine. If you want to get a report of library fines, you could get it from here with just one click. After that comes the accession register, which is the most important part of this library management. You can get your accession register too with one click. That's all for library and library report. Teacher. This is where you can add all the details of the teachers that are there in your institution and maintain a history of all the teachers in your institution. Then comes the student attendance. Here you can enter the student attendance and can also get the list of attendance of the students here. Then teacher attendance. In teacher attendance, you can maintain the attendance of the teachers and the record of teachers who are on leave or absent on a particular date. This helps you generate the payroll and keep track of all the teachers and their leaves. Application. Here, this is of use for the teachers, students, and the accounts department. Here, they have to select the application type. It could be either edit fees paid or leave application. Leave application is for the students and teachers. Fees paid is for the accountant. If the accountant has entered a wrong amount for a particular student or fee type, they have to send an application to the admin, and only if it is accepted or rejected they could do further changes in that. Then after they have created the application, it would go to the admin. This is the admin screen. This is how it would look. They can check for the application type and get the applications and approve or reject it accordingly. Then comes the status. Here the teachers, students and the accounts department can check the status of their application. The leave application and the teacher attendance also helps in maintaining the payroll. Here in payroll, we can get the information of all the teachers in our institution. Then the pay scale. We can assign the pay scale and the designation and the pay scale that is there for that designation. Then all types of allowances can be updated here and assigned to the teachers. And also all type of deduction can be updated here and assigned to all the teachers. After that comes payment generation. You can select the names and the month or year and generate the payment for these teachers. It would look something like this, and their payment would be generated here. Then comes the payroll report. Under payroll report, you get the reports of net salary. This is how the report would look. Then the report of pay slips. You can generate the pay slip under the pay scale report, payroll report. This is how it would look. After that, you can also get a report for the PFs that are there in your institution. This is how the PF report would look. Then the bank loan report. You can get the bank loan report and it would look something like this. And finally, the payment register. You can select from the details here, and in deduction you can select for maximum of 10 deductions, and this is how the payment register report would look.